each of us, we all have a rhythm to our life, and there's a momentum to our life. And if we're not happy with what the rhythm and momentum of our life is, we can change it. Because we ourselves suffer. We ourselves at times are having a real hard time. We may feel despair at times. We may feel just like, what's it all worth at times? Or what is it that I'm even doing here? And what's the point? I think we pretty much all can relate to those feelings at times. But hopefully we don't get stuck there. And we can experience those feelings more and more so as kind of clouds that are passing through the sky. We never expect that when a storm cloud comes, that it's going to stay here permanently. It may be unpleasant, and it may even be difficult, depending how strong the storm is. But we know it's going to pass. It's not an illusion, so to speak. I mean, on one level it is, but what I'm talking about on this very practical level, it's not an illusion. We're experiencing a storm. It's affecting us physically, it's affecting us mentally, it's affecting us emotionally, it's affecting all the different aspects of our life. We know it's going to pass, though. So we know we have to just weather the storm, not behave as if we're permanently in the storm. And I think that's insightful into how to work with our mind and how to work with our emotions and how to work with our feelings. When difficult feelings and emotions come, it doesn't mean they're going to stay. In fact, they won't. Energy in motion. Emotions are energy in motion. They are clouds, sometimes storms, that are passing through the biosphere of your psyche, the sky of the mind. And they're going to come, they're going to have an influence, they're going to create an energy, and then they're going to pass. Right? Because when something comes, say like a rainbow comes, it creates an energy, it creates an emotion. Same thing, if a storm comes, it creates an energy and it creates an emotion. So when different types of emotional storms come, or rainbow emotions come, it creates a feeling, it creates an energy in us. And that's potential energy that can be used in a variety of ways. Most of the time, for most people, this is not a conscious process, and so something comes, it has the effect, and then the next thing comes, it has the effect, and it creates a momentum. Because then you kind of stay in that same wheel. You could call that a wheel of karma. That's what karma, very, very much, at least one important aspect of what karma is the emotional, mental, and desire tendencies. Because it's the rhythm of our continuation. It's the rhythm of our life. And each of us, we all have a rhythm to our life, and there's a momentum to our life. And if we're not happy with what the rhythm and momentum of our life is, we can change it. We have the power to do that. But first of all, we have to know that we have the power to do that and recognize what is the emotional and mental and desired tendencies that are feeding whatever this current state of dissatisfaction or unhappiness that we currently find ourselves in. And we can probably all say that. Relatively, I'm relatively unhappy. I am. But the key word there is relatively unhappy. To where I will be, I'm confident many years from now. However, I'm also very happy. I'm relatively very happy because I'm much happier now than I was many years ago. And I've been actively working on it. So I'm not just saying this theoretically. Many of us have that experience where you realize that if you really want to, you can change your mind's tendencies. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, and for some people it may be terribly difficult. And that's most of us in some areas of our lives, and for some people maybe it's easy at first. But who knows? It doesn't matter what the experience is for other people. Because when our mind is staying inside this kind of realm of comparison, that in and of itself is challenging to our happiness. Because it's always looking for this, always looking for this, always looking for this. I'll go see these Grateful Dead. What I think of is just the living energy of the Grateful Dead. When I go to these shows, and I'm not just talking about one band, but it's a living energy, many different musical expressions of it. But the tendency is Jerry Garcia passed away in 1995, and currently the year is 2021. But a lot of our comparison minds are always listening to compare how it used to be at one time versus how it is now. But if the mind stays in that, you can never fully enjoy what's happening right now. So as long as I'm in a comparison mind frame in my mind, whether it's me based on how I used to be, maybe I feel less happy. Maybe I was really happy when I was in my 20s and didn't have kids or whatever, and now I'm comparing myself now and feeling less happy than I used to be. Or now I'm older in my body, and I'm comparing myself now to how my body was 15, 20 years ago, or 5 years ago, whatever, 2 years ago, who knows? So that's all natural. Of course we're going to do that. However, if you get stuck there, though, stuck in the comparison subconscious patterns, stuck in various types of subconscious patterns where you get stuck in the storm, where it no longer feels like a passing thing, but it feels like somewhere that has a sense of permanence to it. Even though it doesn't, it feels like it because our feet are in the mud. We don't even want to try to change because we're not happy enough to want to try to change. To want to try to change, by change we mean grow and blossom, is a happy space. And it strengthens that desire, the desire to blossom, the desire to grow. It blossoms with more happiness. But when we're in a kind of depressive state, we don't want to change as much. We may want to change, but we're stuck. And we don't want to change enough to actually change. Often it's the case. This is the wheels of karma. You see, momentum creates a certain thing, and you gain a momentum in that way. So how do you make a paradigm leap then to get out of a more depressive momentum, which we all know what that feels like, and to get into a more uplifting momentum? That doesn't mean you're going to be feeling uplifted all the time. Just the same as it doesn't mean if you're generally feeling depressed, doesn't mean you're feeling depressed all the time. Occasionally we get reliefs from it because we watch some really great show. Or we go to, we have a nice kind of social experience that uplifts us or keeps us, feeling okay for the night or whatever. But then the question is, what settles back in? So what we would like to work towards, and if we are currently experiencing to really water and nurture and cause it to grow, a state whatever the state that settles back in more consistently, is one that's a feeling of satisfaction and a feeling of contentment. And the yogis call santok, or santosha sometimes. We would like that to be what settles in, and occasionally we're going to get pissed off, and we might feel angry, And we might feel angry for a number of days, largely. But it's still very clear that, oh, this is a wave of energy. And then if you're into things like astrology, you can look and see it reflected right back at you. Oh, and that's what's cool about astrology. It gives name and qualities and mythologies to the different waves of energy that are passing our way all the time, in different forms and characters and tones and colors and heat and cold and feminine and masculine and challenging and pleasurable, all the different polarities and dualities. It gives shape and color to all of that. It gives a song to it. And so then we know what our base is. We know where we settle. We know who we are. We have confidence in ourselves. We trust our intelligence. We trust our intuition. And, hopefully, maybe, at least perhaps, we have some good practices we're using on the regular, good tools that we use, so that when you discover the gemstone of inner confidence, you want to take care of that. And that's what a meditation practice is all about. When you find the gemstone, when you discover the gemstone within yourself of your own intuitive heart and your own sense of inner beauty and inner brilliance, when you discover that, the gem of that within yourself, you want to take care of it so that it can shine. And so that's when we say a 40-day practice, that's what it's about. It's about something that has enough, my family, they would say chutzpah. It has enough energy to shift the wheel of momentum. And the reality of it, of course, is, I'm oversimplifying it. All of us have many wheels of momentum. Some of these small ones going here and then zoom, zoom. But all of us, this is a multifaceted being, and the psyche of the human being and the subtle body nervous system is infinitely sophisticated. So I'm not trying to act like I know how it all works, because I certainly don't in that type of absolute way. But relatively speaking, the yogis have passed on such good wisdom and good tools to really activate that wisdom in our life, the wisdom of happiness, the wisdom of vitality, and then to have practical techniques that will cultivate that in our life, that will shine and polish our inner beauty, that will then definitely reflect into all of our outer world more and more. It's simple physics. Hey, thanks for watching on YouTube. Best easy way to stay in touch with us. Hit the subscribe button here. You'll see our videos when they come up. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. It'll help more people see it, help the channel grow. I appreciate you watching.